you talked about all the cost component structure and all that,
Exactly.
right?
Uh,
I One question I had is, see, when you're dividing it from one GL account to multiple GL accounts, right?
yeah.
I wanted to know where you mention what percentage from this source GL account has to go to each and individual GL accounts.
The same thing, overheads, no, it's a percentage of overheads.
Oh, just based on the percentage of
Percentage
overheads?
of overheads, that will be taken into consideration. That's the reason I just explained the cost sheet before and I came to the cost component structure.
Okay, so the percentage of overheads is the one that goes to each GL account.
Each GL account.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
This is accounts based, right?
This is completely account based. This is not the
Yeah.
okay. I'll share my desktop. Actually, this is completely account based. This is not costing based profitability analysis. Actually, I prepared some slides to you, all of you also. What exactly the account based profitability analysis and the costing based profitability analysis will do that. So this is something which explains about the more detailed about the costing base and the profitability analysis. As I discussed yesterday also I discussed that there are two types of profitability analysis are there. One, we are going to be discussing about the costing based profitability analysis. Another one is the account based profitability analysis. So this cost-based profitability analysis is not reconciled with your general ledger accounting. To be frank, very, very important that the cost-based profitability analysis is never reconciled with your general ledger accounting. Why? Because it is only for the internal reporting purpose. So once you got a margin, once the goods have been sold to a customer, so you have received a profit. So that profit is not a net profit. Actually, we call it as a gross profit. We call it as a gross profit. So now I need to make the profitability analysis. That is very, very important for us. So the profitability analysis is completely based on the sales order controlling completely. So how much goods you have been, or how much goods you have been raised for the sales order, how many goods we have been delivered, what is the total billing amount, and what is the total net revenue, what is the total gross revenue we have got. So that gross revenue, I would like to do the profitability analysis now. So there are two types are there. One is the cost based, another one is the account based. Normally we'll take the costing based for the internal because why? Because as per the SAP, till the SAP ECC, account based profitability analysis, when I switch on to the account based profitability analysis, there are two major factors where it has been rejected by the customers. Account based profitability analysis, even though it is permanently reconciled with your general ledger accounting, but even though also the customer has rejected. Why? Because in the account based profitability analysis, you're not making me to show the total cost of goods sold splitting. Okay, yesterday we discussed that the total cost of goods sold splitting, the total cost of goods sold is $1,800, but you are making the total amount to one account. But I want to see the total value of the cost of goods sold account based on the splitting, like what are the total overheads of the material, what are the total labor cost, indirect labor cost, what is the total sales overhead, what is the total administration overhead. I would like to see the splitting of all the overheads in the cost of goods sold splitting actually. But that feasibility is not available in the account-based profitability analysis. So many of the customers, they are rejected that account-based profitability analysis and they gone to the costing base. Why? Because in the costing base, this costing base, what it will do, it will group all the cost and the revenues. So whatever there is the cost, okay, and whatever there in the revenues, it is going to group all the cost and the revenues based on the value fields, and the cost-based valuation approach. Okay, so this you can define yourself. What are all the value types? SAP will be providing you up to 99 value types. You can define up to 99 value types in one profitability analysis. That is in one operating concern. So you can take the number of what characteristics, okay, and what characteristics you want to do the profitability analysis. What are all the value fields you are going to be taking? So in these value fields, I'm going to be taking, see, yesterday we have seen one example that, okay, the cost of goods sold splitting is going to be done based on this number of target accounts. So those target accounts I'm creating as a value fields actually, where in my SAP ECC, in my cost-based profitability analysis. So I'll prepare all the value fields and these value fields will take the data from the condition types. These value fields will take the data from the condition types and it will be appearing in the COPA report. In the KE24 report, I can show the report for you because this is the best thing I can do. But when I want to switch the same thing to the cost-based profitability analysis, account-based profitability analysis, this account-based profitability analysis, the name itself is telling that this account-based profitability analysis, it is going to organize, it is going to do all the organization of the accounts using the accounts, because it will getting posted to a particular GL account, not to the value fields. It will post to the particular GL account, and that GL accounts are reconciled with your general ledger accounting, which will be reconciled with your financial accounting purpose. But as I discussed, the drawback is we don't have the splitting of the cost of goods sold account and the production variance. The production variance means there will be two production variants, input variant and output variance. Okay, there will be different types of production variances will be there. So if I go into the SAP here,
So Mahesh, in account-based, is there in a real account-based costing in SAP HANA? Because it's everything is in SAP docker table, right?
Exactly. Now the SAP is very clearly telling to all the customers, this is a recommendation from the SAP now. Okay, now you have to switch on to the account-based profitability analysis rather than using the costing-based profitability analysis. Now, whatever the drawbacks which we have been experienced in our SAP ECC, like this cost of goods splitting and the production order variance splitting, which is not available earlier in our account-based profitability analysis, now that has been maintained now. Now everything has been maintained. Now we have done all the possibilities of making you to available the cost of goods sold splitting and the production order variance splitting in SAP S/4HANA using of account-based profitability analysis. So now it is a recommendation actually, but it is not that it is not a compulsory that every customer earlier who are using the cost-based profitability analysis should go for account-based profitability analysis. Both, you can switch on both. You can switch on to the both, but account-based profitability analysis is reconciled with your AC DOCA table, but the cost-based profitability analysis is not reconciled with your EC DOCA table. Really, it is only the true that your cost-based profitability analysis only work as before, which is the CE1, CE2 tables, and account-based profitability analysis is reconciled with your general ledger accounting. Now, what I'll do here, one second, I'll just open that simplification list to all of you. I'll open the simplification list to all of you. Now I'll go to the simplification list of 1809.
See, even if it is cost-based profitability analysis, right? Now all the cost elements are GL accounts. It should be
no. Never. In the cost-based profitability analysis, we never bring the cost elements into the cost-based profitability analysis. I'm telling it is completely purely based on the value fields you define, and that value fields are linked to the condition types.
So those condition types can be on the sales order, they can be in the billing, or
billing, and it can be in the production variance, and it can be at the time of settlements and everything.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to see at least those connections. If you have any document with those connections.
No, I'll show also. I'll show. No. From the starting of the classes, I'm telling to everybody that you have to use the simplification list. Very, very important actually. The simplification list will play the major role to enhance your knowledge. Why? Because most of the things, whatever the differentiation you want to make between the SAP ECC to SAP S/4HANA, the simplification list will give the complete idea. Okay, why? Because this is just like a Bible for us to understand the changes before and after. I'm telling, don't ignore the simplification list. Even at this stage also, I always prefer to use the simplification list only. At this stage also, whenever I get any kind of doubt during my implementations or something, whatever activities I do in my company, I refer to the simplification list blindly. So simplification list is very, 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 very important for us to understand. And there are several nodes are getting released from the SAP. Day by day, many nodes are getting coming out, because in many companies, if you go for any implementation companies, okay, something like for any clients, there will be a lot of problems. There are a lot of things where the gaps are getting identified for the SAP S/4HANA implementation, like 1709 and 1809, which is not even available in the simplification list, but the client requirement is like this, but the SAP is not supporting. You are raising a SAP note to the customer, SAP is giving a reply. If it is a new enhancement, SAP is releasing as a note. So those notes, day by day, lot of notes are coming out from the SAP for the simplification process. So I request everybody to look at those notes daily, on the daily basis. What are the new changes which have been done in SAP S/4HANA? What exactly that has been done? One second, okay. But I sincerely request everybody, okay, so because follow all the notes which have been given from the SAP side, because day to day, all the notes are very, very important for us to understand actually. So here in this SAP S/4HANA, so how the values are going to be flowed to the SAP S/4HANA, okay, there will be a lot of values are going to be flowed to the SAP S/4HANA because of your value fields are going to be linked to your condition type. There will be a lot of condition types we are maintaining in the sales order level. Okay, if I go into any of the sales order, like an example, so in a sales order or in a billing, so you can see a lot of condition types they are maintaining here. So I want to see the the data has to flow to my controlling. The data has to flow to my controlling, to my profitability analysis. So in my SAP, my value fields, whatever the value fields I define, what happened to the SAP?
Mahesh, you're talking about a costing based COPA, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Account based, I'll tell you what is account based, okay? Because first of all, we need to understand the difference between the costing based and the account based. As I shown you the diagram, this diagram is completely differentiating between the costing based. As I told you that this costing based, what it will do, it will group all the cost and the revenue based on the value fields. You can see here according to the value fields and the cost based valuation approach. So okay, if I want to derive my profitability analysis, I need to define the value fields and the characteristics. What are all the characteristics you want to take into consideration and what are all the value fields? Okay, characteristics will tell us about the external features about the particular profitability analysis, but to know the actual value fields are very, very important for me. But these value fields, whatever the value fields you define, okay, so if I go into the SAP, whatever the value fields you define, so ZARAN, okay, so 1 second. This is what the problem. I don't know what is the problem. Yeah. So now if I come to the profitability analysis, if I come to the structure, now I'm using a structure. So I'll just define one structure here. So I'm taking one structure here. Now take this structure. Okay, this is the operating concern which I'm going to be using here. So the data structure has been activated. There are two types of profitability analysis. Simultaneously, you can activate two types of profitability analysis. Okay, you can either you can use the both, or either you can switch on to the costing base, or either you can switch on to the account base. But in your profitability analysis in SAP S/4HANA, SAP's recommendation is go for the account base rather than the costing based profitability analysis. As I told you that all the drawbacks have been fixed in the account based profitability analysis. Now let me take you to the let me take me to the display here. This is the data structure. See, in this data structure we have characteristics and the value fields. In the data structure, you can see the characteristics and the value fields. What are all the characteristics you want to take into consideration? So those characteristics I can change here. So for example here, now I'm just going for the change. I'm going for the change. Now in the change you can see here, so these are the available characteristics you can define here. So you want to do the profitability analysis based on what? You want to do based on the sales statistic or collection. These characteristics never talks about the quantity and the price. This characteristics never talks about the quantity and the price. Very, very important. This is very, very important to all of you. What are all the characteristics you want to take into consideration to derive your profitability analysis? Whether you want to derive your profitability analysis based on the area wise or customer group wise or brand wise, or you want to take based on the customer hierarchy wise or product wise, product hierarchy wise, country wise. These all are nothing but sales office wise. These all are nothing but your characteristics you are taking into consideration to define the profitability analysis or the cost-based profitability analysis. So here in this, if we go to the page number, if I go into this particular diagram here, so this is very, very important. Any FI consultant, any FICO consultant to know about the differentiation between the costing base and the account base. See here in the costing base, these all whatever the material cost or the production cost variances you are going to be taking, whatever the overheads you are going to be deducting from here, all these are going to be called as the value fields you can see here. Now in this example, I got a total revenue of 1 lakh USD dollars. Assume that you got a total revenue of 10 lakh USD dollars. 10 lakh USD dollars is nothing but your total revenue. From this, you have to deduct the sales deductions. Okay, all the sales deductions should be deducted. So once I deducted the sales deduction, I got the net revenue. The net revenue is going to be the 9 lakhs. The net revenue is going to be the 9 lakhs. So from this 9 lakhs, are you going to take this net revenue as a 9 lakhs as your profit? No, I cannot take. Why? Because I want to have all this cost of goods sold splitting accounts has to be removed. Now what I'm going to do, what is the total variable material cost? It is one of the value field you're creating in your value field. What is the total production cost and what is the total variance? And in this variance, how much scrap it has went out, how much quantity variance, and what is the total price variance. Now from this, I need to deduct everything from the net revenue. These all are going to be called as the value fields because they are talking about the price here. So once I remove all this material price and the cost, material price and the production cost, I'll get a contribution margin 1. This contribution margin is going to be the first contribution margin after you deduct the production orders and the material cost variances, all the material cost and the production cost variances. So you got a contribution margin 1. So from this contribution margin 1, again you need to deduct the material cost overheads, production cost overheads. So after you deduct this material cost overheads and the production cost overheads, now you got the contribution margin 2. That is the 2 lakhs. 2 lakhs is your contribution margin 2. Are you going to tell this is going to be the final revenue? No. Again, I have the sales because once the goods have been delivered to the customer, okay, there are some overheads like material overheads, sales overheads are going to be taken into consideration. So deduct those sales overheads and the material overheads. So research and development, marketing, and the sales administration cost, everything deduct from it. After deducting, I got the total contribution margin 3. So this contribution margin 3 is going to be called as your net revenue. This is what exactly you have to take into consideration. Means out of 10 lakhs, your margin is only 1 lakh. How do you got this margin of 1 lakh? Because of these are going to be called as my value field. These value fields are playing the major role in the cost-based profitability analysis. But in account-based
Rahul, that contribution margin 1 is not tallying. It's a. How did we get that 300,000 there?
You can see here, sir.
No, 300,000 or 400,000 minus 190 plus 10,000, 200,000. If you reduce it, that's only 200,000, right? 1 second. From the net margin. No, from the net revenue 999. From the net revenue of 9, you deduct. That is 600. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, correct, sir. Correct, it is.
Okay. Yeah, you're deducting 600,000. Okay, thank you.
Correct. Okay. Okay. Now, when you do this, all the things I will maintain. These all the value types. These all are going to be called as the value types. You can see here. These all are going to be called as the value types here. Okay. Now, okay. At the time of there is a COPA transfer structure defining here. Okay. So in my SAP, if I come to my SAP here. Now, if I click on to the value fields here, so these are the value fields. Now you can take into consideration. There are 99 value types you can take into consideration as per the SAP standard. Now I'm going to, but these value files will not be available in the cost-based, in account-based profitability analysis, because in account-based profitability analysis, the system is going to organize all your revenues, cost and revenues in the GL accounts, not in the value fields. So these are the value fields. What value fields you want to take into consideration? So these value fields talks about the quantity and the price only. It will not talk about the characteristics. Very, very important. I'm telling one more time. These value fields only talks about the quantity and the price. So if here you can see here, these are the quantity. Okay, these are the costing types which are going to be available for the value fields. You can see here there are a number of value fields are going to be available here. So you want to take which price difference, production price difference, other price differences. What is the production cost variance? Okay, if you see in this diagram also, see here, okay, production cost variances, okay, complete production cost variances. What production cost variances you have taken? Scrap, okay, quantity variance, price variance. These all the things have taken into consideration. So if this is the case, then you need to create here, okay, price variances, other variance, what is the quantity variance. So these all the things you are creating as a value field. So these all the things you are going to be creating as a value field in my SAP S4 HANA or in SAP ECC if you want to go with a cost-based profitability analysis. But if you want to switch on, now let us assume that now I'll go back. Now, if I want to switch on to the account base, okay, so this is the account based profitability analysis. Now you don't have the costing base. Now you have switching on to the account based profitability analysis. Now, if I click on the display, now here you can have only the characteristics. You can see here, you have only defined the characteristics, but not the value fields, Why? Because in account based profitability analysis, whatever the cost and revenues, these cost and revenues are going to be organized in the GL accounts, not in the value fields. Now this account-based profitability analysis is permanently reconciled with your ECDOCA table, whereas your cost-based profitability analysis is not reconciled with your ECDOCA table. Very, 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 very important here. So that is the reason SAP is very clearly telling that. If you see this diagram, this is before. This is the diagram I'm showing before, whatever the drawbacks which are there in cost-based and account-based. Now, if you go to the same thing, if I take the example in the account-based profitability analysis, now, you're taking, these are the GL accounts here, 8 lakhs, 800, okay, 8 lakhs, 9,300. These all are going to be called as the GL accounts. You can see these are the GL accounts because the account based. So the total revenue, as you can see here, the total revenue is going to be the 1 lakh, which is getting posted to your, okay, revenue account. How do you define the revenue? How much revenue? Because once you do the billing, the customer account will become the debit and your sales revenue account will become the credit at the time of billing. So that sales revenue is going to be called as your 10 lakhs USD dollars you are showing over here. After you do the billing, you will get the revenue. After you do the billing, you will get a revenue. If I take a one sales order, I'm going to the BS03. BS03 is nothing but display of the sales order. I'll take one sales order.
But still, Mahesh, depending on the record types, right? Cost-based gives you early result than account-based right now, even in HANA, right?
Yes, yes. Cost-based, that is, see, the result-wise, both are going to be the same, sir. As you discussed, I can show the results in the account-based profitability analysis with the speed of same cost-based profitability analysis. Why? Because at the same time, both accounts are getting updated, either in the cost-based or account-based. But account-based, the advantage here is you can have the account-based profitability analysis reconciled with your ECDOCA table. You can extract directly whatever the reports you want. Earlier, I'm using the KE24 or KE30 report painter. I'm preparing all this nonsense. Okay, I'm showing the reports to my customer. Now, no need to do all these things. You are getting all the reports from the ECDOCA table. Why? Because your account-based profitability analysis is reconciled with your financial accounting. So whatever the reports you want, you can extract directly from your ECDOCA table. Okay, because all the COPA segments are also available. You can have multiple extension values in the ECDOCA table now.
So ECDOCA table still doesn't have any cost-based data in there, right?
No, no, we don't have any kind of cost-based here.
So it still goes back to the COEP, CO, all those tables, right?
It will go to the CE1, CE4 table, same thing.
Okay.
They have done up to the delivery only most of the sales orders. Okay. There are no invoice has been done for this sales order. Okay. Let me explain that. Okay. First, let me explain this diagram and then I'll go here. Okay. Now you can see here. Okay, when you come to the account-based profitability analysis here, so here also the total revenues which I'm going to be posted, the total revenues are getting posted to this 8 lakh as a GL account. You can see here 1 lakh is the total 10 lakhs are getting, and from these sales deductions are there. Whatever the deductions you are making, that is getting updated to my revenue account. Now here, this is what exactly cost of sales. Cost of sales, actually cost of goods sold, actually we can call it as the cost of goods sold. But if I see here, the total cost of goods sold in account-based profitability analysis getting, it is getting updated to this particular 89300 or 000. This is what exactly, this is called as the source account. Now we are splitting this source account into number of target accounts. What are the number of target accounts? You are showing the total amount of 6,90,000 and the price difference of 10,000 you're showing in two different accounts. You can see here. One is the cost of goods sold account, another one is the price difference account. One is the price difference account. Both you're showing in a single account. But when I come to the cost of goods sold account, Okay, when you're showing this 6,90,000 in a one GL account, what happened to the splitting? What is the direct labor cost? What is my material cost? What is my production cost? What is my variances? What is my scrap variance? What is my quantity variance? How do I know all these things? That is the reason, because of having the drawback of account-based profitability analysis in my SAP ECC, where I'm showing all the amount in one GL account, no customer has accepted. No customer has accepted to move on to the account-based profitability analysis. Though, so still they are working with the costing-based profitability analysis. Now, in SAP S4HANA, as I discussed in yesterday's class, cost of goods sold splitting yesterday's class. Now, what I'm going to do, now whatever the source account, okay, 89893,000, whatever the source account you are taking, I split this source account into multiple GL account. Means the source GL account is going to be your cost of goods sold account, and the target accounts will be your all the splitting of all the GL accounts. So whatever the value fields you are showing here in the cost base, I will create each and every value field. I will create a one GL account. I'll create a one GL account, and what I will do, and I will make sure that you are going to split this cost of goods sold account into multiple GL accounts, and I'll show the values as per your requirement in the account-based profitability analysis from today onwards. So now, because of these two things, because of one is the price variances, because of the cost of goods sold account, because of these two accounts, which is not available earlier in account-based profitability analysis, most of the customers have rejected. Most of the customers have rejected. Now these two things I'm covering here. So if I go back, financial accounting, general ledger accounting, business transactions, sorry, we are going to periodic processing, integration, material management. Here, one is going to be called as a defined accounts for splitting of the cost of goods sold. This cost of goods sold is nothing but this one. That is nothing but your cost of sales. And the second one is going to be called as, okay, define accounts for splitting the price differences. Define the account for defining the price differences. So when I go into this controlling part, here, when I go into this production variance, now here, okay. Now here there is a GL account, yes. Okay, now I'll go and show now here. Now here, are the valuation methods. Okay, they're not defined here, but I'll define and I'll show the valuation methods now. Okay, now I'll show you. Here also they're not defined. 1 second. Okay, now let me go to the variance calculations, and I'll show all the variances, default key for the plant and the variations of the work in progress. Okay, that's it. Now here they are available. Okay, plant variance is available. Now I can show here. Yeah, see. Now these are the variances actually. There are two types of variances are available. One is going to be called as input variance, another one is going to be called as output variance. Okay, so whenever your product is in work in progress, actually, whenever your product is in work in progress, which is not at all converted to your finished product, actually we will receive lot many variances, production variances. So these all are going to be called as the variance: scrap variance, input price variance, resource usage variance, input quantity variance, remaining, okay, mixed price variance, output variances, lot size variances. So whenever you are going to do the calculation of work in progress, actually, okay, whenever you do the calculation of work in progress, so this production variances account, the production variances account will become the debit, and your semi-finished goods or your finished goods account will become the credit. Actually, this is accounting entry whenever you do the variance calculation. So if I go into the SAP, there is a variance, you have to do the variance calculation during the month end. Okay, so accounting, if you go to the financial accountants or controlling, and if I go to the product cost controlling, in the product cost controlling, cost object controlling, in the cost object controlling here, what I will do here, actual posting. Okay, so single function, work in progress. Okay, so KKAX. Okay, so
now not in actual costing, actual postings, you're in period and closing.
Exactly. Why? Because whenever I'm calculating any variances of the particular product, actually, which is not delivered or which is not released, actually. So if you see the production order, which is not at all delivered, if it is a delivered, means your production order has been completed successfully, your finished goods are delivered to your sales order. But here, in this case, your production order is not at all delivered. It is still in the release status only. Still it is in the work in progress status. So every month end, you have to calculate the work in progress account for each and every production order variance. So to calculate the work in progress, okay, what happening? So whatever the variances which are going to be having, there are two variances will be there. One is the input variant, another one is going to be called as the output variances, as I discussed here. So these are going to be called as your variances. You can see here. So total major difference, 2% you are going to be taking the variances. So now these all are going to be called as your variances in your SAP S/4HANA or in SAP ECC. Now you can also create a new variant. Okay, now these variances are going to be calculated during the month end when you are going to be do the actual product cost variances in the work in progress. KKAX is the transaction code. So once you do this work in progress variances, now what happened? Your production order variances will become the debit and your semi-finished goods account will become the credit, actually. So these variances contains
that means these variances will hit the AC docker table. I mean,
exactly. You're absolutely right.
So,
you're absolutely
right. If it is hitting FI, then where is the CO only postings happening?
What's that?
Because where is the CO only posting happening?
Your controlling document will be generated, sir.
So controlling at the same time, the same FI document is also getting generated, right?
Exactly. Now, so what happened here? How do you know that? How do you know that? Now here, when I'm doing the work in progress calculation for a particular material, how do you know that this is the variance which is being calculated based on the so and so percentage for this particular account, for the particular product here? Because after calculating only this variance calculation only, you'll come to know what is the total variance. Why? Because your production order is not at all delivered to a customer. Still it is in the work in progress. Until or unless your production order is delivered to a customer, you are going to stop all the production order variances and you are delivering the goods to a customer. How do you know that? What is the total variances you are going to be getting for a particular product? So because of this variance calculation only.
So variance, whatever the variance which is at the end of the month, which you are posting, that will also hit FI, right?
FI GL account, sir. Yes, sir. Your production order variance. Exactly. AUF.
So my fundamental question is, what is the CO only posting which is happening to COPA, so that we will have a difference between account based and CO based?
Yes, sir. Now you have to do the settlement. Whatever the variance. Now, how? Okay, what?
Because so far, whatever you are explaining, the AC docker table is updating. If AC docker table updates, there is no difference between costing based and account based, right?
But so a lot of difference is there, sir. Sir, if you go for a cost, if I go with a cost-based profitability analysis, okay, as I discussed that cost-based profitability analysis are getting updated at the time of production order variances and at the time of work in progress variances, which the value fields are getting updated, not to the GL accounts.
Okay. So that's what I wanted to know. If it is not updating GL account, then that's fine. So CEO, that is, those are only CEO only posting, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm telling from the starting.
Okay.
So now what I will do the work in progress calculation. Now, after you do the work in progress calculation, you will get the total input variance and the output variance. Okay. So these input and output variances, these were output calculations, there is an accounting document is getting triggered. So what is the accounting document? In this accounting document, you will see all the production order variance is going to be the debit. Production order variances account that you do in the OBYC, you will assign a GL account. You will assign a GL account in the OBYC for the transaction key called as AUF. AUF is nothing but your transaction key. So if I go here, /n OBYC. So when you go to your GBV, the transaction here, you are going to be taking the transaction. This is what exactly AUF here. Where is that? Yeah, AUF. You can see here AUF is the transaction which I'm going to be using. So this is the GL account actually, which is going to be hitting directly to the production order variance /NFS00. See here. Quantity actually the production cost, activity of the production cost variance. So now what is happening here? This particular account, okay, for 5510000, this is the GL account. So which is going to be hitting to all the production order variances over here. So whatever the variances you want to take, you need to select the checkbox. Okay, if you want to do the variance calculation. If you're not doing the variance calculation, then if there is no work in progress calculation for your particular manufacturing of your product, there is no directly we are going to be do the production and we are selling the goods to a customer. There is no work in progress, like we don't have any kind of variance calculation, then don't create any kind of variance keys. Don't create any kind of variance keys. And why? Because if I go into the production order, like this, if I go into the production order, here you are going to be assigning this variances key here in each and every production order. Variance key is nothing but 00001 is the variance key. This is the production order. Okay, this production order is getting converted to your semi-finished goods. So at the time of semi-finished goods, if you see there is a variance key, then there is a work in progress is there. Because based on the result analysis key. If the variance key is not assigned in the production order, means there is no work in progress for this particular production order. You're manufacturing the goods and you're selling the goods to a customer. There is no need to calculate any work in progress to a particular material. Why? Because there is no variance key you have assigned in the production order, because these variances keys are going to be created here. So these variances keys you are creating, see, that is the work in progress. You are going to be creating these variances keys. So this is the variance key I have assigned in the production order. You can see 00001. This is the variance key. So whether you want to do the scrap variance for the particular production order or not, or you want to go with the actual variances like input variance and the output variance. If there is no scrap variance, don't select here. Then once I need to default the variance key for the plant. So which plant you are assigning? I am assigning the variance key for the plant called as 1710. Why? Because the same plant has been assigned to my company code. The same plant has been assigned to my company code. Once your variance key has been assigned to the company code, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to check the valuation variances now. In this valuation variances, so what I'm going to do, now if I go into the new entry, I'm creating a new one, 002 valuation variances. For 1710 company code. Okay, in this valuation variances, okay, now what are all the variances categories you want to take for the calculating of work in progress? There are two, there are two categorizations are there. One is input, another one is going to be the output. So whether you want to take, these are going to be the output, mixed price variance, output variances, and the lot size variance, and these all are going to be called as the input over here. So whether you want to take the scrap variance, you want to take the input price variance and everything. So there will be some minor differences will be there with a percentage. I'll put it as a percentage as a 2.0%. Now I'm going to save it. So once you define the variances, yes, sir.
Is it all together for input and output is 2%?
Yes, sir, 2%. Minor differences I'm going. If there is no minor differences don't want to take the differences, just keep it as a blank.
No, I'm asking the variance itself altogether, input and output together, is it 2% or?
No. It is based on the categorization here. Based on this categorization like this, not complete input and output here. So based on each, if you are going to get an input price variance here, so the minor difference going to be up to 2% here. If you are getting the input quantity variance, not in the price variance, there is the input quantity variance is there. Then the minor difference will be the 2% here. Now, whatever the variances you have taken, now you need to assign the GL accounts. Okay. Now what I will do here, I'll come here. So now I'll go to the new, okay. Now here, I'm going to be creating the valuation variant, which is very, very important. Actually, I will assign this valuation variant in my structure now. Okay. Now here, okay, these are the valuation variant for the work in progress and the scrap and valuation variant. Okay. You can create your own valuation variant also. Now here I'm going to be taking the priority as a one. Why? Because okay, planned cost and the preliminary cost estimation is going to be done for any kind of before you start the production order. First of all, you need to do the preliminary cost estimation. What is the preliminary cost estimation? It is the prerequisite. Before you do the actual cost estimation, there should be some preliminary cost estimation you have to do here. So I'm going to be taking the priority here. So the complete valuation of the work in progress based on the planned cost and the preliminary cost estimation. And I can do the second priority will be given to the standard cost estimation, CK11N and CK41. CK11N and CK41. I discussed that. As last class, we discussed the CK40N. CK40N is the material cost estimation for the bulk materials. CK11N is the material cost estimation for the single cost estimation here. The first priority I'm going to be giving to you. Okay, there will be different types of material cost estimations will be there. Planned material cost estimation, preliminary cost estimation, simulation planned cost estimation, alternative planned cost estimation, standard cost planned cost estimation, depends upon the requirement. Okay, so we have different types of planned cost estimations will be there. So standard cost estimation, definitely if every month end you have to do the standard cost estimation either with the CK11N or CK41. Okay, sir. So CK40N. So first priority I'm giving, you have to do the planned cost where you are updating the planned cost in KP26. If you go to the KP26 transaction /O KP26. KP26 is the transaction where I'm going to be using for the cost center planning. So here you are going to be doing the cost center planning for the KP26 for with the activity type. Whether you want to go with the valuation variant based on the planned cost and the preliminary cost estimation as a priority, or you want to go with the first priority as the standard cost estimation. Here you need to select the priority of the valuation strategies. Alternative material cost estimation will be there here. Okay. So now once you define here, now I need to define the versions. So every version is going to be defined over here. So versions has to be defined here. So what is the controlling area? 8000. Okay, target version I'm taking as a 0. 0 is nothing but planned and actual cost. 0 always will be going to be taken as the planned and actual cost. I'm taking the 0 version. Variance variant, what is the variance variant you are taken? Okay, standard, or what variance you are going to take in here? Standard variance. So as I told you, there are the remaining. Okay, I just now we have created as a 002 valuation variant for the here, this one. Here in the first step. Okay, here in the first step, you have created your keys. Okay, first you created your key. Then after creating, you are defining the valuation class for the plant. Once you maintain with the plant, I'll come to the valuation variant. We created one key for 1710 because all these variances I want to take into consideration. 002 is nothing but your key. Now I'll take this key and I will assign in my version here. So I'll go and I'll maintain my controlling area and 0 is the version. And here I will assign that 002. Where is the 002 here? Okay, 002. Is there any scrap percentage you want to take the valuation for the scrap percentage? Okay, as I told you that if you don't have any scrap, just select here. Okay. Now controls actual cost or planned cost. Every time I want to take it as actual, and the target cost is going to be your planned cost with the preliminary cost estimation, or you want to take as a standard cost. Just know, target cost is either you have different types of, you can do the cost estimation based on the planned cost, or you can do the cost estimation based on the preliminary cost, or you can also do the cost estimation based on the standard cost estimation here. So what will be a target cost? Target cost is nothing but it is the difference. Okay, what are the products you have been manufactured? What is the total cost and what is the target cost? The difference will come here. So whether you want to go based on the planned cost or whatever maybe. Now I'm going to be saying here. Now, because already it has defined here, standard cost estimation allowed for the comparison because already 8000 is defined here. So now once you defined here, see already it has been defined. Okay, once you defined here. Once you define, either you want to go with the standard cost or whatever maybe. Once you define this particular variance. Now, okay, so there are two things are there. Okay, define primary data for the input variance and define number ranges for the variance document. Okay, so whenever you're calculating the work in progress, okay, whenever you're calculating the work in progress, so there will be a document will be generated. So that document number ranges are going to be assigned over here. So this is the document number ranges for the production order variances. For the production order variance, these are the document number ranges. Now, once you complete all these things steps, okay, once you complete all these things steps here, okay, now your variance calculations has been given. Now, whatever the key you have created, go to the sales order, go to the production order, and that variance key you have to assign in your production order. So once you assign this variance key in the production order, then only the system will start calculating the material variances based on the work in progress you are going to be calculating. If this variance key is not maintained, if the variance key is not maintained in this particular production order, means your production order is not with the work in progress, it is directly goods manufactured and sold to the customer. Clear? Now, this particular variances, now in before that, we are going to be taking all the price variant, the price difference variance into one GL account, that is 2310000. This we are taking into one GL account. Now, in SAP S/4HANA, now we have a new transaction which is going to be called as Now, yesterday we have seen about the splitting of the cost of goods sold. Now we are going to see now the define accounts for splitting of the price differences. Price differences. Okay, now you have to create the profile now.
Mahesh, hello.
Yes, sir.
You didn't discuss anything about the valuation strategy, how, especially that material cost estimation portion. Venkat was asking about the material element, right? And the costing sheet, even though you discussed a little bit. I want to just ask you whether there is any user exit being used for the valuation strategy?
Sir, not majorly, sir. Actually, I never worked on user exits as of now because the requirement has not yet been come to me. But no, I don't think so. User exits are going to be defined for any kind of valuation strategy for any kind of material cost estimation. As of now, I never been experienced. I never seen any project user of user exits also now. because the
No,
requirement always meeting with the standard SAP only.
only I've seen a lot of user exits getting
Okay.
implemented. Yeah, so they are there, but see, it depends on the industry. There are various things that can be done, but most of them are going along with the standard because they don't want
Standard
to.
only, sir. Because
Yeah, they
user
don't
exit will
want
not
to
give the
change.
complete figure.
Yeah, because once you try to change in the
Hmm.
user exits, right, it gets very complicated,
Hmm.
and a lot of other things will not work actually. So usually even SAP also doesn't provide too much info on changing all this stuff.
First of all, whenever you are writing any user exit, sir, the first major important thing is nothing but the SAP will not support you for any kind of issues you are
Why I'm
going
asking this specific question because
to.
what would be your valuation strategy for especially on or any techniques which we used for from the point of valuation to record all these things to you know that a KE for you on transaction which is basically used for the valuation strategies. I'm
But
kind of lost in between.
I understand, sir, but okay. First of all, we need to understand the requirement of the business actually. Why it is required for the going for the user exist? Why it has not been addressed in the standard SAP? Before we write the user exist, we need to raise a note to the SAP and get the clarification. Why? Because there will be several roles can be implemented without going to be using the user exist actually. So maybe you are right. Your point is very validated, but actually, so first of all, is it the business is really required about this kind of process of going with the user exists or not? That we need to understand first of all.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, any business every business is different. Okay,
Yes.
every business, every company is different, and they have their own business process. Well, the only thing is, yes, we all we need to know is, yes, do we have a flexibility to do some changes according to the client, according to the client that we have in this particular process, right? That's all, right?
That's all.
Yes.
Why? Because see now we need to understand everything in the fit gap analysis. Actually, there is a roadmap where we need to study the fit gap analysis of the business process and see before we go with the live with the implementation for any client. First of all, the client will ask you, can you please show? See, before this is the discovery phase. Actually, we can call it as the discovery phase. In the discovery phase, what the client will ask you. Hey Rahul, this is our process. This is what exactly we have several competitors. Okay, we are following with the several competitors. So you are one of the competitors for them. So can you? This is what my exactly my business BRD document, business required document. Can you map this into the SAP and show a demo to us? How exactly the SAP is going to work to me? So in this particular at this stage only, in the discovery phase only, you will get a lot of gaps which you need to address from the client side of you, whether these gaps you are going to be addressing in a standard way or whether you are writing a user exist way, whether it is a user exist way, what is the impact and everything. First of all, in the discovery phase itself only, we will come to understand all this kind of things. Then we will approach to the SAP. This is what exactly the client is expecting. Is there any note is there, or we have to go with the user exist, or the SAP is going to suggest for any kind of alternative solution for that. After you understand the requirement, then you are going to be fitting to the business. Otherwise, we'll tell to the SAP, we'll tell to the client that this is the completely we need to go with the user exist. Why? Because in the standard SAP is not going to be supported. So we'll write the user exist for this particular whatever the price calculations or something, production order variance or something like valuation categories you are talking. So this is a little bit of complex. We cannot address in SAP standard. So we'll write the user exist and see how best we can bring it to you. Then we'll go accordingly. We'll tell in the discovery phase only and we'll fill that gap. But make sure that that user exist is going to work for a proper way as per the standard SAP. Why? Because if any issues you are going to be facing, if any calculation went wrong because of the user exist, SAP will not support you.
Yeah, but we can anyways anytime we can disable the user exit and see it working. But the thing is, when you're saying at the discovery phase, right? That means the client has already bought SAP software, isn't it? Or does
That's
SAP
what-
provide a sandbox to?
SAP will never provide. SAP will never provide the sandbox, sir. Actually, the sandbox we are going to this. The system of
Mahesh,
sandbox we are using as a rough calculation purpose.
Mahesh, give me a second. So if you are in the discovery phase and you are providing the client saying that okay, this is a complex business scenario, and they wanted a demo on it. Yes, we can do the demo and everything, but by then the client has already committed to SAP, right?
Client is already committed to the SAP. Already they have committed to the SAP. They want to go with SAP, and you are not only the one competitor. There are several competitors are also there. But how? See one thing. Without any user exists, how you are going to be addressing? That is a very much important for the client or for you also.
See, every client, I'm 100% sure they need user exits. Okay.
For not kind of the see. Yes, 100%. You are absolutely right that okay, no implementation in the world went with the standard SAP. I am right. I'm accepting for that.
No,
But
Mahesh, especially in COPA, it's there will be lots of overhead allocation. Okay, costing, especially in costing based COPA. So at that point, if you don't have proper assignments. Especially in the settlement profile, if you don't have proper definition of assignments, then we may need to go for user exit. If I don't know whether without a user exit,
no.
I mean, if it's very simple, then it's okay.
I understand that, but see,
we just discussed only about the variable costing.
I understand that,
but there will be absorption costing, and the difference between the absorption costing and the variable costing would be mostly on the fixed manufacturing or to transferring to various heads. So I'm kind of lost.
Yes, see, I've worked on the the manufacturing part of it for a couple of companies, but unfortunately I didn't work on the CO side of it. But I've seen a lot of complexities based on the company. I worked for a company which manufactures pipes. I worked on a company that manufactures PCB boards and all this. There's a lot of difference, but this simple standard solution will never suffice to any particular industry. We have to implement some kind of user exits in order for them to to work. So that's definitely it's a give. It's not like an option. You have to. But I don't know. SAP must have designed this solution as a generic thing, but yes, definitely we have to apply a lot of user exits in order to get these things done. So I'm just trying to get, according to your experience in any one particular industry, what deviations were from the standard. I hope I didn't confuse you.
Yeah, let me discuss that. Okay, then that is see, and that's what I'm telling here. Any company without the user exists, without any kind of Z transaction, never project can never be completed, even if it is FI or CO or production, whatever may be here. But how long? But major thing here is SAP always tells that as much as possible, because in SAP S/4HANA we have simplified everything. Make sure that you use of all those standard configurations and everything. If not, before you do the user exist, contact with us, because there are several simplifications are going to be happen now in SAP S/4HANA. Contact with us. If the note is available, we'll provide the note. If the note is not available, we will give some alternative solution for that in the SAP standard. If not, you go for the user exist. Yes, you are absolutely right, Venkat, and Prem. Absolutely right that without the user exist, there is no such a project we are going to be. If I worked in Ericsson project actually, when I'm in IBM actually, Yes, definitely. For the cost center accounting, you understand or not? For the cost center accounting, which is a basic thing, we have maintained, we have done the user exist, and we have written some validation rules for the cost center accounting. For the plant, for the intercompany transaction with the plant to plant, the user exist has to be triggered between this cost center to this cost center. Even for that, we have written the user exist for a simple process actually. Why not for the complicated process like product cost controlling and the COPA? Definitely there will be a user exist, 100%. But how far they are going to be impacting to you and how far they are not impacting, that we need to understand, sir.
Yeah, so if you have any, with your experience, if you have any documentation, you don't have to discuss it in this class, but if you have any documentation for these various stages that you have explained here, right?
In the recent, I never worked on any like projects like, because most of the thing, yeah. But
See,
if I have the document, definitely I'll share with you.
Yeah, that will be great.
Let me get contact with my other project people actually. So I'll talk to my other project managers, okay, my colleagues actually, if they have any kind of complex situations like this actually. So more majorly, people who are working in the pharma industry or something like in the steel manufacturing, definitely they will go for some user exist actually. Pharma is a very complicated, you know that.
Mahesh, if you can just provide some materials about the valuation strategies and techniques.
No, definitely.
In costing based COPA, that would be good enough, because
definitely. Let me see.
There will be valuation using material cost estimates.
Sure.
Without valuation and with valuation. There we will have the discussion about cost of goods sold and cost of goods manufacturing with the material master standard price. And also cost common split will also be possible in that situation. In other cases, without material ledger and actual costing.
So are you not talking, sir, are you not talking about the material cost estimation with quantity structure and without quantity structure?
No, I'm talking about the entire valuation using material cost estimates.
Understand.
Yeah. Okay, not just only that. I'm just telling in a scenario.
No, let me check out. Let me check out. 100%.
Yeah, hopefully this is all that we talked about with quantity structure, right? Hopefully we'll just get a brief understanding even without quantity structure, please.
Yeah.
Because without quantity structure is usually about intangible assets and stuff like that, right?
Exactly.
What I'm talking is without valuation and with valuation. And in the valuation strategies and techniques, there are two scenarios explained. One is without valuation and another is with valuation. With valuation, without valuation also include without material and actual costing. And like a cost components.
So
okay, we will have a separate discussion.
We'll discuss on this, okay? So,
is that for intangible assets that you're talking about?
No. It's for the cost of cost of goods sold and cost of goods manufacturing only I'm talking about. There will be it is from a planned cost estimate. You can do that. Okay. I don't recollect so many things. So
okay.
We'll discuss offline. So we'll discuss it offline. Okay. So. Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss about this price difference splitting actually. So whenever there is any production order variances, now the production order variances are also getting splitted base layer, just like a cost of goods sold actually. So tomorrow we'll discuss, and let me see about the ratio analysis for this. Okay.
Also, Mahesh, you got to give us because we are towards the ending, right?
What do you want?
Weekly one session just to ask questions.
No, definitely, sir. See.
I know you're a busy person and a very busy person, but
no. It's not a part of busy, sir. Actually, definitely I'll give a chance, because see. Now, if you take my classes also, I never ignored any kind of questions you're asking, the doubts to me.
No. See again. We are not saying that you ignored. We are trying to say that yes, now questions have collected. Now we want some time where we can.
Definitely. I'll give
that dump is useful. Is it that there is a dump, exam dump? Is that useful? Which is shared in the
No, that is only for your information purpose. Useful in the sense is nothing but 20 to 30% you'll expect the questions from, not 100%.
Oh, that is good enough. 30% is good enough.
I'll leak the questions, sir. Don't worry, sir. I'll give all the questions to you.
Okay, please. Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be really.
Mahesh,
Yeah.
are you still going to take that BPC classes with this?
BPC, that is a separate sessions, madam. Actually, if you want to enroll for the BPC, okay, you can enroll for the BPC. I'll be the faculty for that.
But
See,
in the beginning of the class, you said you will take some sessions for BPC also, right?
Not BPC, Central Finance, Central Finance.
Yeah, central
yeah,
finance.
Central finance.
Not
yeah.
for BPC. I told that in that BPC is a separate session. Central Finance, I told.
So, Mahesh, do you even take classes for a hybris?
No. I'm not that much of expertise in the hybris levels.
Come on, Mahesh, you are you're excellent, orator.
No. I can take the class on machine learning. I can take the classes on IoT. I can take the classes on the big database, but not on hybris, sir.
When you say big database, is it Hadoop?
Hadoop.